here we are.
There's something in our house.
Let's put a pickaxe in its brain.
You're in marketing. Why do you even bring an axe?
If you were in marketing, you'd know.
Maybe she's been placed under some kind of a curse.
And all that will wake her is the kiss of a handsome...
I'm awake already!
Excuse me, your curtain. Please allow me to help.
Help? From you? Spare me your white savior complex.
I didn't mean to offend. I just thought you should know that...
That I should know what? That some privileged white guy thinks his opinion matters? Get over your entitlement. I'm not some damsel in distress waiting for you to ride in on your high horse.
Beware of the evil queen. She's a master of disguise. She could be anyone.
I'll be careful. No, that's too much. Go back outside.
The star, Rachel Zegler, is unbelievably charmless in public.
What would you say to those who are just kind of overly critiquing the film at this point? You've worked so hard on it.
I know you can get Garnet here.
Rachel Zegler, she's an asshole.
I truly do believe that.
Every time she speaks, she gets less likable.
And to everyone who hates when I win, the winged victory came to the Louvre in pieces, and people still line up to see her. And I can only hope that despite my flaws, and despite my cracks and my breaks, and there are many of them, that at every premiere and everything I do, people will wait in line to see.
This truly is the worst casting, maybe, in the history of the film industry.
Rachel Zegler is extraordinarily woke, but she's woke in a way that's quite deranged.
No one on the right side of America can stand the star of this movie.
And if you disagree with this sentiment, I don't need your business. Thanks.
Yes, you saw that headline correctly. Brace yourselves, this is happening. Snow White, mocked by The Simpsons, Springfield's most notorious family just went nuclear on Disney's disaster, and sources are saying Rachel Zegler lost it. The fallout more explosive than any Hollywood feud we've seen in years. Rewind. Remember the Snow White remake that promised a fresh take? Instead, it delivered a PR nightmare, fueled by Zegler's own eyebrow-raising comments. Prince Charming? A stalker? She declared.
Oh, the original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There is a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her. Weird.
A comment that sent shockwaves through Disney's loyal fan base. The beloved classic, weird and outdated. These weren't just sound bites. They were the sparks that ignited a Hollywood bonfire. But the drama didn't stop there. Enter the 7 dwarfs. Or rather, the lack thereof.
Remaking the movie, they just got rid of the dwarfs. Okay,
but what do they call them?
Why would they get rid of the
dwarfs though? Magical
creatures. But they have one token dwarf amongst these magical creatures. You actually just went backwards. You actually just erased the dwarfism side of it. The disability, like we're a disability group, you just erase that whole image. The argument should have been from Peter Dinklage, there's power of being on TV, there's power of television, and to put 7 people with dwarfism on camera in a major Disney movie, there's still power there. If the story is offensive, change the story, don't change the characters.
Peter Dinklage raised a red flag, Disney panicked, and suddenly magical creatures were in. A move that, ironically, sparked even more outrage. Was this progress or a clumsy erasure? The debate ignited a firestorm online, pitting inclusivity against tradition. And then came the tweet, "Free Palestine."
They had her tweet out like a little, "Yay, Snow White, can't wait, so excited, I love to play her." And she did it and got like millions of views, and they were like, "Good job, Rachel." And then she, like minutes later, followed it up with, "And never forget, free Palestine."
And isn't her co-star Jewish?
Yes, Gadot.
I mean, what?
Yeah.
Wow.
A seemingly simple tweet landed like a grenade in the already tense atmosphere, especially with her co-star Gal Gadot on the other side. Did Disney try to silence their Snow White?
That my name is Gal, and I'm Jewish, and we have had enough of Jew hatred.
Allegedly, a producer was dispatched for damage control, but Zegler stood her ground, adding another layer of fuel to the already raging fire.
They tried, they flew an executive, one of the producers, out to go visit personally with Rachel Zegler to say, "Could you please take that down? Because we understand you can have your political views, but those aren't really helpful while you're trying to build an audience for a movie. Maybe you could save like your diary and your friends, but like maybe not, maybe just take the tweet down." And she wouldn't.
Fast forward to the red carpets. The chemistry between Snow White and the evil queen, ice cold. Red carpets became a stage for palpable awkwardness.
Please welcome
Rachel Zegler and Gadot.
Visual effects push the boundaries of what we see on screen.
Their work makes the impossible seem possible.
With breathtaking ambition, they create magic that wraps its arms around our wildest imaginations.
Here are the nominees for Best Visual Effects.
Every forced smile dissected by eagle-eyed fans. Was it just awkwardness, or was there real tension simmering beneath the surface? Whispers of Gadot distancing herself from the controversy filled the Hollywood air, the hero and the villain united by discomfort? The result? A box office catastrophe of epic proportions. Hundreds of millions of dollars vanished. This wasn't just a flop, it cratered. A financial black hole swallowing hundreds of millions.
They spent $170 million to make the thing, and it had the lowest opening, under $50 million, of any of these live-action Disney remakes that they've ever had.
I mean, they're projected to lose between $200 and $400 million on this.
The thing that really shocks me about this story,
How did a beloved fairy tale turn into such a spectacular failure? And the critics, they weren't kind. But the audience score? A jaw-dropping 1.6 on IMDb. That's not just bad, that's in the sublevels, scraping the bottom of Disney's barrel. Social media erupted with memes and mockery. How not to market a movie became the unofficial tagline. The public had spoken and their message was brutal. Then, silence. Rachel Zegler, once so vocal, seemingly vanished. No interviews, no social media updates. Rumors swirled. Disney wanted their money back. A studio demanding an actress pay up for a flop. It sounds unbelievable. But in this town of shattered dreams and whispered rumors, even the unbelievable starts to sound plausible. But the fallout might be even more severe. Whispers from inside the industry suggest a chilling turn. Even those who were once allies are reportedly distancing themselves. Suddenly, her name vanished from casting calls. Projects once rumored now shrouded in silence. In a single year, Disney's next big thing became a brand risk. Has Hollywood truly turned its back on Rachel Zegler? And then, The Simpsons. They didn't just comment, they unleashed a savage parody. Snow woke the reimagining.
Who are you? Care for an apple? Okay, I'll take a green one.
No, take the red one.
No!
This is no ordinary apple, my dear. It's a magic wishing apple.
A wishing apple?
You offer it to me freely. In place of the patriarchy, you would have a queen! Not white, but diverse, inclusive, and equitable! I will become the I know I can be! All shall love me and despair!
Oh, what has she done to you? Fear not, First Love's kiss can break any curse.
A character named Rachel Z, banning princes, lecturing villagers, and watching her movie bomb in an empty theater before a talk show meltdown. To be skewered by The Simpsons, that's not just a joke. It's a public branding, a neon sign flashing Hollywood fiasco. Sources whisper of fury, of an actress watching her career become a late-night punchline. Imagine the humiliation of seeing your career, your choices, become the subject of mainstream ridicule. What does this mean for her future? Can anyone recover from this level of public and industry backlash? So the question remains, is this the end of Rachel Zegler's Hollywood fairy tale? Or can she rise from the ashes of this spectacular crash? The world is watching. And in a town that loves a comeback story, anything is possible. But the shadow of Snowoke looms large. This entire Snow White saga has become a brutal masterclass in the razor's edge between creative ambition and audience backlash in modern Hollywood. What began with the seemingly progressive casting of a Latina actress in the iconic role quickly spiraled into a vortex of public controversy, fueled by a series of missteps, miscommunications, and ultimately a chasm of misunderstanding that yawned between Hollywood's vision and the audience's heart. Zegler's initial comments, intended perhaps as a modern reinterpretation of a classic narrative, were instead perceived by a significant portion of the Disney fanbase as disrespectful and dismissive of the source material that held a cherished place in their collective memory, effectively locking out the very audience they needed to embrace. The description of Prince Charming as a stalker and the characterization of the original story as weird and outdated struck a discordant note, shattering any semblance of unified support.
The cartoon was made 85 years ago, and therefore it's extremely dated when it comes to the ideas of women being in roles of power and what a woman is fit for in the world. And so when we came to reimagining the actual role of Snow White, it became about the fairest of them all, meaning who is the most just and who can become a fantastic leader. And the reality is, Snow White has to learn a lot of lessons about coming into her own power before she can come into power over a kingdom.
The subsequent debate surrounding the depiction of the seven dwarfs further compounded the film's woes. Actor Peter Dinklage's well-intentioned critique of potentially outdated stereotypes inadvertently triggered a chain of events that resulted in Disney replacing the dwarfs with ambiguous, magical creatures. While intended to be more inclusive, this decision was met with its own wave of criticism, with many arguing that it erased representation rather than enhancing it.
You're replacing jobs that people could have as little people. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, it's for dwarfs, you know?
Disability advocates voiced concerns that a genuine opportunity for meaningful on-screen representation had been lost, further fracturing public opinion and adding another layer of controversy to the already troubled production. Adding a layer of political complexity to the unfolding drama was Zegler's outspoken stance on the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Her Free Palestine tweet, while reflecting her personal beliefs, reportedly caused significant concern within Disney, particularly given the background of her co-star Gal Gadot, highlighting the Grand Canyon-sized gap between personal beliefs and the studio's carefully constructed image. The alleged intervention by a Disney producer, urging Zegler to remove the tweet during the film's promotional period, underscored the delicate balance between an actor's personal activism and the studio's strategic marketing efforts. Zegler's reported refusal to comply underscored a potential disconnect between her public persona and the studio's desire to maintain a neutral and controversy-free image for their tentpole release. This collision between personal conviction and professional responsibility further complicated the already fraught public perception of the film and its lead actress. The awkward dynamic observed between Zegler and Gadot during promotional events and awards shows only served to amplify the sense of unease surrounding the production.
Like, oh wow, Snow White flopped. Who is surprised? You cast arguably the least genuine, most out of touch and disliked person in her industry, and her industry is Hollywood. And the bad guy is Gal Gadot.
The perceived lack of chemistry and visible discomfort between the two lead actresses fueled speculation of behind-the-scenes tension, potentially stemming from the various controversies that had engulfed the film. Instead of building anticipation for the on-screen dynamic between Snow White and the Evil Queen, these strained public appearances added another negative data point to the already overwhelming narrative of a troubled production. The culmination of these various controversies ultimately manifested in a devastating box office performance. Despite the immense brand recognition of the Snow White IP and Disney's extensive marketing machinery, the film failed to connect with audiences on a significant level.
A few lessons for Disney. Number one, stop cannibalizing all your old IP. Like, it's really bad. It's really bad business. Number two, please stop changing all of the historic plots, which actually have meaning to generations of people, to instead become generic woke story about how woman leads revolutionary uprising and she don't need no man.
The projected financial losses, estimated to be in the hundreds of millions of dollars, positioned the remake as one of Disney's most significant live-action adaptations to underperform, underscoring the profound disconnect between the studio's efforts and the audience's reception, suggesting that the accumulated negative publicity and the perceived missteps in handling the film's narrative and casting had taken a significant toll. The abysmal audience score on IMDb further highlighted the depth of viewer dissatisfaction. A rating plummeting to 1.6 out of 10 is not merely indicative of dislike. It suggests a widespread and almost vehement rejection of the film.
I just want to tell you guys about a incredible movie that just came out, Snow White. Wow. I just got to tell you, best movie I've seen in years, and there have been some really, really good films lately. Madam Web, Rebel Moon Part 1, that movie, that transgender one with the Mexican drug lord. But Snow White blows them all away. Chat, this movie has everything. Horrifying, CGI, little people, check. A feminist princess who don't need no man, double check. Diddy dance party at the end, double Diddy check. All this to say, go see Snow White right now. The new one, not that old stupid one where the princess gets saved by some good, upstanding guy.
The online celebration of the film's commercial crash painted a picture of an audience actively fleeing the theater and lighting up social media with their disdain. This level of negative engagement transcended mere apathy, indicating a strong collective disapproval of the creative choices and the public relations strategies employed throughout the production. In the aftermath of this critical and commercial disaster, Rachel Zegler's public profile reportedly underwent a dramatic shift. The claims of her going completely silent, withdrawing from interviews and social media, suggest a significant impact of the negative fallout on her professional life and public image, fueling the narrative of a studio seeing red. The highly unusual and unconfirmed reports of Disney allegedly asking her to pay up for the film's financial failure, while needing to be treated with caution, underscore the extreme level of dissatisfaction and the potential consequences faced by the actress. Whether accurate or not, such rumors contribute to the narrative of a studio deeply unhappy with the outcome and potentially holding the lead actress accountable. The suggestion that Hollywood, including influential far left-wing activists, is now distancing itself from Zegler paints a picture of a dizzying freefall from Hollywood darling to industry pariah. Reports of stalled projects and casting calls moving forward without her indicate that the controversies surrounding Snow White have had tangible consequences for her career prospects. The transformation from being touted as Disney's next big thing to a perceived brand risk within a single year highlights the volatile nature of Hollywood and the potential for public perception to dramatically impact an actor's trajectory. The Simpsons' savage parody of Zegler and the Snow White debacle served as the ultimate stamp of mainstream mockery, etching the controversy into the cultural lexicon. Being lampooned on such a widely watched and long-running satirical program elevated the narrative from industry whispers to a national punchline. The depiction of a character clearly based on Zegler, engaging in behaviors mirroring the criticisms leveled against her, cementing a narrative of misjudgment and disaster in the minds of a vast audience. The reported reaction of Zegler being furious and not laughing underscores the personal impact of such widespread ridicule, potentially casting a long dark shadow over any potential comeback. Ultimately, the entire Snow White saga stands as a brutal masterclass in how a bold rebrand attempt can catastrophically misjudge the zeitgeist, resulting in a cascade of negative consequences, from box office failure to critical derision, and potentially writing a tragic first chapter in what was supposed to be a fairy tale career for its lead actress. While Hollywood is known for its capacity for comeback stories, the path ahead for Rachel Zegler appears fraught with challenges, the shadow of Snow Woke serving as a stark reminder of a fairy tale gone drastically wrong. What do you think about this whole situation? Let us know your opinions down in the comments below. And if you want to stay up to date on all the latest Hollywood dramas and unexpected twists, make sure you hit that subscribe button.